Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our latest webinar, which we will be focusing on the latest release from Microsoft for Dynamics 365. My name is Ahmed Makhtari. I'm the Business Development Director, and it is Business Development from Curious IT, and I'd like to thank you for attending today's session, which we will be exploring some of the new features and how they can help you as a user as well as benefit the business. Okay. So in today's session, due to the time constraint, we have kept the agenda brief, but please do contact us if you want to explore further these features and what they mean and how they can help you as a user as well as a business. So we will be focusing on the sales, some of the new features that's coming up in the sales, customer service, field service, as well as customer insight. At the end, we will also be we will have a great offer, a surprise offer for you, and please stay tuned. And we will go through that as we go along at the end. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce my colleague, Aniket, who will go through the presentation. Thank you. Over to you, Aniket.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. Thank you, Ahmed, for this great introduction for our today's topic. As Ahmed mentioned, we will be having a walkthrough on new changes released by Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM. In this webinar, we will be focusing on key aspects of each features along with the short demo for some of the features. So now let's start by exploring some of the updates introduced for the sales module of Dynamics CRM, and starting with our first update for sales module, that is customize lead qualification for the seamless experience. As we all know, in sales, qualification of a lead is a process where we actually convert the potential lead into a customer. So in this process, the account and contact needs to be created into the system. So with this feature allows a full control to the sales representative to create a new account and contact, or to use an existing one which has already been there in a system in order to create or convert the lead into the customer. This feature also allows the sales representative to create multiple opportunities against a single lead, providing the multiple chances for the sales representative to close that deal and drive the revenue. There is also one of the key or a major significant addition to this update, that is the lead summary generation. So this is basically a summary which is generated using a copilot, which will gives you an insights of a lead which will be useful for the salesperson to close the deal more effectively and more efficiently. So uh, the concluding line is this feature helps the sales representative to handle the data effectively, to manage their sales task and transform their potential customers into the satisfied customer. So how exactly this particular feature works? As you can see over here, this is the sales hub module where we have opened a lead which needs to be qualified into the actual customer. If a sales representative click on the qualify button, this is a new interface which pops up and have the account and contact fields where a salesperson can use an existing data of an account or a contact in order to convert this lead, or they can create a new one. Along with that, the sales representative can create a multiple opportunities against a single lead, as there is already one opportunity which is set to be created. But other than that, two other opportunities are added against the same lead for the creation. And once we qualify this lead, these are the data which are being created new. Okay, there's a contact data which was set to create as new, and three other opportunities which were set to create new. You cannot find an account as we have set the account as to use an existing record or the existing record from the system. So there is no account field over here. Okay. Other than that, the co-pilot gets activated and a lead summary will get created once we qualify the lead. So this is how this feature is being utilized. Moving to the next update or a new feature, that is get 360-degree view with AI generated summary. So as many of us have experienced, juggling in between multiple accounts at once can be overwhelming, particularly when you need to gather important informations that too in a quick fashion. So with this new feature of account summary feature, this provides a unified view of an essential customer data, including buying experience, their associated records like opportunities, leads, marketing campaigns, and also the latest updates of that account, which is been generated by the co-pilot from the sources like their account entity records or the open source. This will help the sales representative to eliminate unwanted time to go through a scattered data and manually compiling it. Instead of that, representative can get an comprehensive account overview, enabling them to prioritize their tasks against that specific account and engage with the customer in more personalized manner. Okay, so how to get this feature enabled and how to use how this particular account summary gets generated, we will see in a short demo. Again, we have opened an account through our account entity. Okay, we have selected one account and this account record get opened. As soon as this account gets open on the screen, Copilot gets activated and it automatically generates the account summary for the account which has been opened. So as you can see on this Copilot interface, this is an account summary which is being generated for the A Datum Corporation with the insights like what is their annual revenue, what is the number of employees, in which region does this account operates, who is the owner of this particular record, and other than that, uh, associated records like this particular account has 3 cases which are in an open state in the system. So the co-pilot has listed down all the open cases which are linked with this account. In the similar fashion, if there are any open opportunities which are being associated with this account, that will also get listed down if there are any. So this is how the account summary gets generated. Moving to the next update for customer service, that is analyze opportunities with grouping and aggregating. First, we will talk about a grouping feature. It is basically it is the grouping feature of for the opportunities where sales representative or a sales manager can group the opportunity into the specific sets or based upon the important factors like or the important fields like account name, or based upon the owner, or based upon the email id, or upon the statuses or priorities, whatever the manager feels they want to group into a specific targeted field, they can group that. This will help the sales representative to organize the pipeline better, making it easier to focus on right opportunities and approach them more effectively with this grouping feature. There is one more feature which has been added over here, that is an aggregating feature which allows the sales representative to easily calculate the numeric data. Like if we talk about the opportunities, the sales manager or sales representative want to know the estimated revenue or actual revenue across all the opportunities associated with them. Okay, so with this, they will be able to get or calculate the numeric data for the estimated revenue or actual revenue um, very much easily, which will provide an helpful insight from the financial potential perspective for that opportunities, allowing them to focus on the deals have a major impact on their revenue. So with these two combined, they can easily target the high impacting or highly prioritized opportunities easily and take the actions swiftly. So how to access this particular features, we will see in this short demo. So this is the sales module again, and we have gone to an opportunity entity where we will be able to see all the opportunity records associated with this particular user. So now I want to group all these opportunities based upon an email which has been received. So I will go into an email column and I will select a group by option, which will group all the opportunities based upon an email ID they have received. So if it is blank, if then it will be grouped into a blank option over here. If I want to change the groups, then I will just go on to another status, another field like for example status, and I will group it based upon the status. And similar fashion, if you want to ungroup, I can do it into a similar fashion. The group by option will be replaced with ungroup by option. So now here the opportunities are being grouped based upon the status. So I can easily identify there are 23 open opportunities, 7 open won and closed opportunities, and 2 which are been lost. So now I just wanted to check how much revenue did I have estimated for this in for the opportunities which are in open status, won status, and lost status. So for that, I will go to the estimated revenue column and I will select a total and sum. So with this, I can easily calculate how much revenue is there against the opportunities which are in lost status, which are in one status, which are in open status, and also the sum of all the opportunities as well. And likewise, if you want to see what is the maximum or the minimum value for the opportunities available with this particular user or with me, um, I can easily do it by using a same option and selecting a maximum, minimum, or an average option from the list. So these were some of the updates for the Wave 2 in 2024 from the sales module perspective. Now we will move to the next module, that is a customer service. We will check the new features which are came across this customer service. Starting with our first change for customer service is composing emails using improved attachment experience. So with this new enhancement, service representative can now quickly attach file just by using a drag and drop functionality, whether it is from computer to an email or from our device to an email, or whether we want to move or copy the emails from one email to another. So before this particular enhancement, if you want to transfer one attachment to other attachment from one email to another, we have to download that attachment to the device and then the representative have to add it to an another email. But with this, it has made a pretty simple and easier for the representative just to select and transfer the attachments from one email to another. Other than that, there are some other options like multiple selection option, where the representative can easily select all the attachments or the multiple attachments at a time and take an action like delete or download option, um, rather than selecting taking an action into a single instant on a single attachment at a time. This helps a lot from the time perspective as well, and effective work and effectively working on the emails as well. There is one more aspect, the attachment sizes, which can be clearly seen in this grid. It makes lot easier to manage the storage and avoid sending a large file across the emails. So this feature will help the representative to handle the communication through email more swiftly without any hassle for multiple file attachments, which makes the representative more efficient and enhance overall functionality of a CRM. If you want to check it out how this particular functionality works, this is the email which is in a draft status which needs to be sent to the customer. Now if I want, this is the attachment section over here where we want to attach our uh, files which needs to be sent. If I want to attach all this file, I can just simply select all, drag and drop to this section, and the files will get automatically attached to this email. We have a multiple selection option or all selection option over here, and representative can easily take an action at a time for all the selected items in this attachment. So this is how we can utilize this particular feature. Moving to the next update for customer service is manage case efficiently with enhanced controls. So with this new update, Microsoft has added a new color coded icons and new color coded options in an option set for the better field identification, making it quicker and easier for agents to manage their cases effectively. A separate activity section is also provided over here on the case form where agents can easily keep the track of their activities against this particular case. So if there is any activity which is overdue or which is due for today, it will easily, this section easily highlights those activities over here in this section. And other than that, this feature also enables the agents to attach the multiple files against this particular case similar to an email, and it can the any other user or the sales representative accessing this particular case can easily identify and easily access the attachments in the case timeline as well, which improves the efficiency rather than searching the attachments into their attachment sections, a separate attachment section. Okay, so how this particular feature is useful? So this is the customer service module over here where we have open a case, equipment not working, and this is the whole case form. As you can see over here, these are the two option sets over here, priority and case status. If we just drop down this field for priority, you will be able to see the different option set with the different sets of icons through which user or the customer representative can easily come to know at which priority is this particular case through these particular icons. As well as if we just drop down the case status, there are the option set for the case status with different color codes, and through color code itself, the user can representative can easily identify what is the status of this particular case. Other than that, this is the section of an activity. As there is no activity due for today, so the status is this. So let's say now we will create an activity of a phone call which of a past due date. Okay, we will just create one new activity of a phone call with a past date. And as soon as we create an activity of past due date, this particular section is highlighted with red with an one overdue activity. And if we just hover across this particular highlighted section, the customer representative can easily come to know what task is pending and requires a higher attention. So this is how the representatives can manage their cases effectively with this new enhanced feature. Moving to next update for the customer service, that is Copilot generated proactive prompts and insights. Now, this is a Copilot feature improved for a Copilot feature which has been improved for the customer service, where the agent is allowed to discover and activate Copilot without even opening the Copilot. Okay, so as soon as this case gets opened, the Copilot is automatically activated, and without any manual description what exactly the representative wants as a response from the Copilot itself provides a prompt based upon the details of the cases. So this textual prompt will initiate a conversation with a Copilot, and follow prompts are suggested based upon the Copilot response, which will keep this conversation ongoing. So with this particular feature, one of the greater benefit is that user will not stuck in between the conversations when having a conversation with a customer, which will enhance the overall experience of an agent. And how this particular feature get used, we will just find it in our next demo. So again, this is a customer service module where we open a case with the case title MaxCare portal case assignment process. And as soon as this case gets opens, our Copilot is activated, and based upon the case title and description of this case, Copilot has automatically generated a prompt based upon and the prompt is what is the case assignment process in MaxCare portal, because the customer service representative want to um, address this particular incident for the customer and provide the resolution. So as soon as the customer service representative clicks on the prompt suggested by the co-pilot will provide a response based upon the knowledge articles which are present into the system or from the open source which whatever we have been configured into the system. And this is the response which is being created for the prompt. So the customer service representative can easily use this response in order to communicate to the customer and uh, address their incidents or the issues raised by the customer. So ultimately, this will help the customer service representative to address the customer issues in very much effectively and improves the customer satisfaction because of the prompt response. So these were some of the updates for the customer service. Now we will move to our next module, that is the field service. And the first update is transition all users to the new schedule board. So what exactly, if you talk about a scheduled bold in field service, so scheduled bold is basically an interface which is been used by the field service user, which is called as a dispatcher, who handles the work order and assignment of their work orders to the resources. All this assignment thing is done on this schedule board. So with this new schedule board, it is pretty much easier to handle the work orders and the assignment of the work orders to the specific resources because of these new updates. So this new update includes a new schedule board which provides an easy drag and drop functionality across the work order, so that dispatcher can easily just pick up any of the work order and assign the resource to the specific resource just by dragging and dropping it into that space on the grid. Other than that, there are some new color schemes which are being introduced in this schedule board against the work order statuses. So whenever there is a change in status of any of the work order, the color scheme of this work order changes based upon whatever we have configured to showcase, so that the dispatcher will be easily understand which record or the which work order is at what stages. As you can see over here, there are n number of work records into a single grid, and it is pretty much difficult to identify with the same color code or a blank color code at which status are there. And in order to know what is the status of this work order, a dispatcher will have to open each and every work order, right? So rather than that, with the new color scheme, um, dispatcher can easily identify what is the status of the work order. Other than that, there are some other major uh, updates across the new schedule board, like there is a resource card. If a dispatcher just hover about any of these resources, there is a resource card which will get displayed, which will showcase the skills and qualification of that resources, and that will give a dispatcher an overview of a resource which with that specific skills and which type of work order that particular resources can be assigned, so that work order can get complete in very much effective manner. Other than that, there is a inbuilt map into the schedule board, where dispatcher can easily track down each and every resources that path across the work orders. And if they want to manage a number of work orders across a single resource, they can manage through based upon the route they are going to have their work order. Okay, so these were some of the key benefits or the key features of the new schedule board. But if we talk about this particular feature, earlier there was the toggle button on the schedule board, whether we want to use a new schedule board or we want to just use an older one. There is a toggle button over here in order to switch in between the two versions of the schedule board. But with this new update, that toggle button is removed and the old schedule board is fully deprecated. And all the field service users are being transitioned to this new schedule board, because with the addition of new algorithm in this schedule board, it is far better than older version. And in terms of handling the load, it gives an upper hand and it gives a quicker response to whatever the inputs which are provided in this schedule board. If we want to have a quick look or a look and feel of a new schedule board, you can just check over here. There is a filter parameter where the dispatcher can add the specific filters and get a specific resource in order to assign the task. This is the grid. This is the map which we talked about. This is an unscheduled work order list where we can get a list of the work orders which needs to be scheduled, and with an easily drag and drop functionality, dispatcher can just easily assign the work order to any of the resource very efficiently. And with this specific grid and this legends or the color scheme we talked about regarding the status of the work order, we can easily track the work order status on the grid itself. Now we will move to the next update for the field service, that is configuring co-pilot summaries. Um, so this is pretty much similar to the account summary which we seen in our previous slides. In the similar fashion of the account summary, here the work order summaries get created in the field service against the work order. And there is a separate section on the form where that summary gets created. But if we talk about this feature, we can control the content of that summary which needs to be generated. Unlike the account summary, here we can actually control the details of the summary which needs to be created on the work order. For example, if the dispatcher or the frontline worker need to have some insights from some other entity other than work order, let's say they want to have the uh, details from its associated cases or the account record or a contact record, they need some information. So what a user can do is they can configure this summary configuration where they need to add a table and the column from that table from which that particular summary needs to be generated. Okay, so let's say if you want to generate the work order summary based upon the records of the cases, so I will add the case table over here, and with that I will add the columns from the case tables, and I will just save this configuration. We will just check this configurations, how it is done and how the summary is generated in our demo. So this is the field service, and this is one of the work order record which has been opened in field service. This is a separate section of a Copilot where the summary is generated, and as soon as we hit the generate button, this work order summary will get generated based upon the details which are against this work order. So now we will configure the work order summary configuration over here. And let's say rather than taking up whole details across the work order, I just need the details or the summary generated by using only work order summary column from work order table, and I will save that configuration. And as soon as I regenerate this summary, the summary gets updated or generated based upon the work order summary which has been configured in our configuration. So this is how we can control the details of the summary against the work order. So if I talk about the benefit of this particular feature, so this if so this feature allows the dispatcher or the frontline workers to access the data which has been more specific or relevant to their work orders for the better understanding of the context and take and execute the actions based upon that details. Okay, so many of the times the work orders gets converted from the cases, so the worker or the frontline worker may need some prospects or the context from the cases what exactly has been conveyed to the customer. So by going through those details, the frontline worker can take appreciable actions or appropriate actions against this work order. So these were some of the updates for the field service module. Now we will move ahead with our next module, that is a customer insights, and this will be the last module for our session. So the first update is the controlling the pace of customer entering into the journey. Okay, so this is basically a new configuration feature over here in the customer insight, where a campaign manager can control the flow of customer in the journey by setting the rate per day. Okay, so here the number of peoples which needs to be entered into the journey, a customer campaign manager can set this number and save this configuration. So what it will do is it will space out the messages sent over time by setting how quickly the customer needs to enter the journey. So if I give an example for this, let's say you have started a new journey for the customers, or a new marketing campaign for the customers, where your organization sends the messages to your entire customer base, let's say 10,000 customers, and that campaign includes the action of calling to the customer or a call center. So if that campaigns get the 10% conversion rate, so almost 1000 calls will be redirected to the call center, which will create an overwhelming response over there, and it will keep your customers waiting for a long time in order to attend that, to get attended, which will ultimately creating a poor experience for the customer. So instead of that, campaign managers can slow down how fast the customer enters the journey and avoiding the thousands of calls at a time. So this will helps to improve the conversion rate of a customer as well, improves the customer satisfaction, and it will avoid overloading the operation teams with the huge amount of traffic towards them, which will ultimately increase the efficiency of the team. So this was all about the controlling the pace of the customer. We will move to the next update for the customer insights, that is get insight on email engagement with heatmap analytics. So let's suppose that your organization has again created a new marketing campaign, that is an through an email engagement, and the success of the email marketing campaign heavily relies on how your audience has interacted with this email. So once your organization has sent an email, your campaign manager monitors the metrics like open rates and click through rates to understand how was the performance of your emails which were been sent. So that particular performance or analytics will be provided by using this particular feature, that will provides you a clear picture of what your audience like to be shown, how they interacted with your customer, and with the visual effects also, you can see which part of that email was very much catchy and taken up the attention of your customer. And with that particular insights, customer manager can adjust your email or the email messages, which will provide a greater impact and give a better conversion rates of the customer for that particular campaign. Okay, so these were the two of the major updates for 2024 view to from the customer insight point of view. And with this slide, we come to an end of our session. As we explore today the new changes in dynamic CRM, this new release wave brings significant enhancement that will keep us to deliver more value to the customer and user. This updates not only addresses the key feedback and challenges, but also provides new capabilities that will ensure we are staying ahead of our competition. So with this, I thank you all for your time and have a nice day. Ahmed, over to you.
Thank you very much, Anika. It's some really interesting stuff there. Gives you a glimpse of where the product range is moving to. Clearly, AI and Copilot is a major factor in that. It just brings the whole thing into, really good, efficient process it. So I did mention right at the beginning that we have an offer, and this offer is relating to a quick start package for CRM sales. So what will you get for that? So you will get 5 full users. The first month's subscription for 5 full users. The system completely configured for you. endless amount of reports as well as dashboards, training, as well as support. And you will also have access to the Copilot and AI, which you've just seen some of examples with. So that's a one-off offer for 6,999. It's a one-off, and I hope you will see that's really good. So if you have any questions about this or the webinar itself, then please feel free to email me. My email address is there. And if you have any questions now, then please use the question and answer section in Teams. Thank you very much indeed, and really appreciate your time today. Bisola will actually answer some of the questions that you may have asked. Okay, over to you, Bisola, and thank you all once again.
Thanks, Ahmed. We've actually got some questions for both of you. I'll start with Aniket. Aniket, I've got 3 questions for you here. The first one is, are there any other changes or enhancements released in this wave other than mentioned in this presentation? Hello, Aniket.
Yeah, I guess I was talking on mute. Sorry for that. Yes, Bisola, regarding your question. So yes, there are some other enhancements and the updates which are being offered by or incorporated by the Microsoft in this 2024 Wave 2 release. And we have selected the specific features which are currently available. Okay, which are currently available, and their general availability is enabled, and all the users can access this particular features right now. Other than that, many of the features are been into the development zone or then earlier access part, and I guess from till May 2024 other enhancements will also get live or available across all the users or all the systems.
Okay, I got another one for you. Can we access and use all these features in a live environment?
Yes, whatever the features which are being presented in this presentation, other than the customer insights, all other features are now available on the system, and the user can access those as well.
Excellent. So the final question I've got is, do we need additional licenses to opt for accessing these features?
If I talk about the licensing, majority of the enhancements and the features are the out of the box, so no additional licenses are required, except some of the features like where the Copilot is involved. Many of the licenses, the premium licenses or the enterprise licenses have the Copilot enabled. Other than that, if the which allows to enable the Copilot. But if it is other than those licenses, then yes, the additional Copilot license may be required in order to access those features.
Brilliant. Ahmed, I've got a couple for you. Can we add more license? Because you mentioned there's 5 available for 5. Can we add more licenses?
Yes, you can. The package comes with 5 full user licenses. But if you need more, then yes, you can add more at the standard standard price from Microsoft.
Okay. Second question is the price negotiable?
This is a fixed price. It's already very, very competitive. It's a one-off payment with the exception of the licenses. That one-off payment also includes the first month for 5 full user licenses.
Okay, and the final question I've got is, are there any limits on the number of staff who can be trained?
No, there's no limits. In the package, we included 2 staff. But if you want more, then you can have more. We'll discuss that with you in regards to how many additional staff that you want.
Brilliant. So that's all the questions I have at the moment. Thank you to both of you for this webinar. And I will be sending an email out with more information about the Quick Start package if you are interested. And I will also be sending out the recording for this webinar. I'll do that this afternoon. Thank you so much for attending, and we'll see you in the next one. However, if you are interested in any other webinars we have hosted, please visit our website at www.mercuriusit.com and then go to On Demand, and then you will be able to watch all of our webinars we've done in the past. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.